Hey there, Station Nation. It's Ryan here, back again. We're in the shop. We're going to start rocking and rolling for real. Thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for following me. I hope that you get enough value out of all of these videos that I'm shooting to stick around, and I really appreciate that. So we are done. We're pretty well through winter now.
What is this?
I'm going to have a lot of time in the shop, so I got some projects to do. Mainly with this RTV 1100. We're gonna get into that guy and see what needs to be fixed on it and go through that. But this video is going to be about what are the differences between an X1100 and the regular 1100. I'm just gonna go through this really quick so you can kind of get the gist of it. Maybe some people are wondering which one should I buy or which one should I look for, and I'm gonna try to do my best in this video. All right, so we got the X1100c here. This is a newer model, pretty much 2014 and newer. And then before that, as far as the 1100s go, we've got this. Now there are 900s that follow similar things, and they've got some, similar pluses and minuses. It's a little smaller engine, a little bit less capacity. The 900s primarily don't have doors and things like that. So these two guys are our guys, right? Boom, shakalaka. So I'm gonna kind of go back and forth between these two things so you can kind of see the difference. Right away, you can see that this one's got a little bit more, I would say, truck look to it, where this is a little bit more turtle look. That looks a little bit cleaner and nicer, I think, just the look of it. This always looks like a turtle for some reason. I don't know what that is. But when you come around to the side, or like right in this area, I do like the way this thing looks. There's something about the way the box fits on it, and something about it's kind of stout. It doesn't look that much different than this one, but this box is just a little bit wider, a little bit, it's less deep, so it's a little bit wider back and forth and a little bit less deep that way. So I don't know, they both, from the outside, they look nice. I think this one, I don't know if it's just because this one's newer that I like that better. But the front end, I really like the way that they redesigned this front end. One of the things that I really like about this year, or this style, is this front windshield actually just pops open like that. That strut is shot there. But man, oh man, like when it's hot out and when it's a nice day and things like that, just to bop that open and have that, I think that's such a sweet thing. I think that's so nice. You can see, I can pull it open here too. So you get a little extra ventilation. The cabs are really good, but there's sometimes that you just, don't really want the cab. One thing that's frustrating about this one is this window. I don't like this side window. It's just such a small window. I guess you get a little bit more breeze with that front, but this side window is not as good as this side window. These guys just roll down. You get that full window open like that, and that's great. I mean, when you're cruising around, you get the breezes going, but I still think that if this could open, prop that open, I think that would be pretty sweet. I think that'd be really good. Another thing in these, you got, it's a different dashboard overall, but something that's really interesting is they changed the transmission. So in this one, it's just high and low, or reverse high and low, basically. But over here, you got a reverse high, medium, and low. And I don't know, I don't know if there's that much difference between these, if that really makes that difference. Most of the stuff you can't shift on the fly anyway, so you have to be shifting at a dead stop. So you have to come to a stop and then shift. If this was a different system, that kind of plays into the whole hydraulic system. But if you could shift on the fly, that might be a different thing, moving your load up and down. But that's not the way the system works, so you can't really do it that way. But so I kind of like just the high and low of the X series. The other, main difference, I would say, cosmetically, everything is, just kind of here or there. The biggest difference is the rear axle. In these, you have leaf springs, okay? So that's a leaf spring system, just like a truck. You know, just like your classic leaf spring system. All right, where this one is an A-arm system. Now, I will say the A-arm system rides are a lot smoother. That's a lot more smooth going down the road. But as far as hauling capacity or just like total toughness, I think that this wins. I think you load this box up, you load a trailer on this thing, this suspension is gonna win. This is gonna give you a nice ride. This is more than capable. I've overloaded these things with way too much weight. And this one definitely hauls it, not a problem. No complaints there, but when push comes to shove, you're hauling hay bales, you're doing something big, you're out in the woods grabbing some logs and things like that, I might shoot for something like this instead of this. I might stick with a little bit of older model, hang out with that guy for a good long time. That's the wagon, and this is the town cruiser, something like that. Comfort ride, cruise around with this one. Just a workhorse animal. I think that I would probably go with that one. There's a few other things that they did in these things, and one of the other kind of main things that I would talk about is on this guy, our air cleaner is up under the hood, which is a really big difference in this guy. Our air cleaner on this guy is right here. Now, if you can imagine with these tires kicking up dust, and all of this is just dusty and everything. So this thing is sucking in a lot of dust, a lot of debris, all that sort of stuff. You can see kind of where that intake is up in here. It's got a snorkel in here, a little bit like that, okay? So this is kicking up a lot of dust, and that's going right into that engine, right straight through, because your intake is right in there too. These have a big problem with heads. They have a large problem with heads going out. I think they get scored. I think they get damaged. The cooling system on this one is not as good as this one. This one has an extra radiator. They redesigned the radiator so you get a little extra cooling in here. So there's a radiator here, a coolant radiator, and then there's another one over here. So that adds so much coolant to the system, where this one just has the one right underneath the cab there. So this one doesn't have that spare radiator system up here. You know, this has got your cabin filter, some of your other junk up in here, but it doesn't have that same system. So it's designed a little bit differently. You got your air conditioning condenser up there. So this one, I think that the longevity, I think these are not going to have that head issue as bad as this one did. This one just always has that head issue, which, you know, if it's contained to the head, it's not part of the lower system, but you can kind of replace that head gasket, and you're still looking pretty good, where I think that this one over time is probably going to outperform as far as the engine capacity. But I've seen both of these things, thousands, tens of thousands of miles, tens of thousands of hours. This D1100 or 1105 that's in these things is designed to be in a generator to run all day long, every day for years and years. You do your oil changes, you keep your maintenance going, and either one of them, I believe, is going to last you a long time. But this one, I think, with a lower coolant capacity and the air cleaner right here, this air filter, I don't think people do enough maintenance on this. I don't think that they change this, blow this out enough to really keep that clean. And then that's just going to score things, make things bad in there, give it problems where this system is just a little bit better. But I tell you what's interesting is I don't like how long this tube to go from your intake is, because that's got a route down through there all the way back, and then it swings around, and then it goes into your intake here. So that's a long path for that to travel all the way through there, couple of bends and turns and everything. So I think that there's some power loss or some air intake loss that you get from this, and I think that's why a lot of guys turbo these things, because that kind of shifts the way that is. You get that extra power going in there. Not only is a turbo better, you get that extra power, but I think just this the distance and when you get air in here and then how far it's got to suck before it goes in there, I don't think that's great. I've seen some with some exhaust stacks here. You know, they're coming out like here, kind of doing like a semi stack here with the exhaust. And I think I saw one time where they did that with the intake. And I think if you were to get this system with a snorkel that comes up here somewhere, if you got that coming down here, goes in there, and you got that system with a snorkel, I think that direct flow, I think would be better. I think this is better flow than this. I think that this is cleaner air. You know, this is covered up under here. I think it's just cleaner air. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on that. Whatever. Other than that, I mean, they're both pretty comfortable. They both do what they do. All that sort of stuff. But I don't know. It's an interesting one. These always so far have this problem with this dash just falling apart. They just crack and they just get broken. That one actually has a problem with the seat wearing out really bad. This I've seen so many times that this driver's seat is just shot. And I think that's just coming in and out. This is just your wear point. It's just constantly, this just gets worn out and shot. And like all of these things, water sits in here. People don't dry them out. I think one of the biggest problems with all of this stuff is people don't dry their vehicles out. I think they sit outside, they stay wet constantly, and that water just sits there and erodes and corrodes and erodes. And if you look at this one, this is not bad. I just had this outside. I haven't taken this apart yet, but this one's pretty solid in here too. A lot of times this area where you come in and go just sits and soaks up water, and this old pad just holds water forever. And that's not a great system ultimately, but you know, other than that, this is kind of all the same. You know, your bed up and down, you got your float mode on that. I do like the parking brake over here. I think that this parking brake is a little bit easier than this parking brake. I like the way that is. Reminds me of my Ford Escort wagon, my first car ever. I don't know, there's just a little awkward about doing this one. I don't know. I kind of like that one a little bit better, where it's just pull up. You've got your throttle, your hand throttle here on this guy, because I got the PTO, the K-Connect system with the snowblower. Boom, snowblower on that guy. What else? What else can I go in a quick little review here? I think most of the rest of the stuff is kind of, you know, the same. It's pretty much similar. Nothing too crazy. I think, you know, you got your four-wheel drive up on the dash, where in the X series it's down on the floor, which I don't know if that really plays into it. The radio is supposed to be up here. I kind of like that. I kind of like it in the X series. The radio is up here, and I got some switches versus like your fog lights and your windshield wipers and stuff. If you go over here, you got your windshield wipers up here, switches. So I got the front lights, the back lights, the strobe light, and then the radio up there. Strobe light, little rear light, and then a couple of front ones. A lot of people run a light bar up here. I kind of like the two. When I'm snow blowing, I can aim these around. I can kind of see a little bit better. I like that a little bit better than just the single bar light, so then I can get a little bit more focused. I don't know. Either way, it's all personal preference. It's all the same but different. All depends on what you want to do. But that's that. There's a nice little rundown video on the two. If you have any questions between the two of them, let me know. That's our video for today, and we're gonna get into more stuff. Either way, I love these machines. I think they're great. If you have one, I think if you have one of these machines, I think your biggest problem, I think that almost everybody says, is they're slow. I've got this one. I cruise around. This one's set to 30 miles an hour. So on flat ground, I'm doing 30 miles an hour. When I'm going up a hill, it's about 20. And when I'm going downhill, I've got 38 as the highest, 39, something like that. And I don't want to push this one. This one's still under warranty, so I don't want to get this one too crazy. And then this one, like I alluded to in a different video, this one is, I'm going to try to get this one going as fast as I can. So that might be a little bit nuts. They're a little bit narrow wheelbase. They're kind of small, but it does have a pretty good low center of gravity on them. So this is the one that we're going to work to get going as fast as I can push it anywhere. We're going to see. Ultimately, this one's got a blown motor in it. It doesn't even crank over. It doesn't even turn. I can't even hand turn it with breaker bar on it. So I'm going to get into that. You guys are going to get to watch that whole thing. So that's it. I think Thanks for watching. We're gonna get into this stuff. We're gonna get hardcore for the next month or so. I'm gonna try to get this thing all out, show you everything that I can about that, the regular 1100, RTV 1100, and then if I get another one in, I can do more X videos, 900, whatever, as people come up. So have a good spring, and I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching, Station Nation. You guys are rock stars.